Hey there, Jonathan Rayo here with Simplified Guitar, and in this lesson I'm going to be teaching you how to play the song Make Room by Community Music. This song was requested by Patron Jolene Mayo. Thank you, Jolene, for the song suggestion. If you would like to leave me your song suggestions, you can click right up there to head over to my Patreon page. All right, right now I'm going to go ahead and play through the song for you, and then at the end I'll break it down and explain it in more detail. So for now, let's go ahead and play through the song.
Here is where I lay it down, every burden, every crown. This is my surrender. This is my surrender. Here is where I lay it down, every lie and every doubt. This is my surrender. I will make room for you to do whatever you want to do whatever you want to. I will make room for you to do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to. Here is where I lay it down, every burden, every crown. This is my surrender. This is my surrender. Here is where I lay it down, every lie and every doubt. This is my surrender. And I will make room for you to do whatever you want to do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to do whatever you want to. Shake up the ground of all my tradition, break down the walls of all my religion. Your way is better, your way is better. Shake up the ground all my tradition, break down the walls of all my religion. Your way is better, your way is better. I will make room for you to do whatever you want to do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to do whatever you want to.
All right, before I start breaking down this song, if you would like to take a look at the chord chart, you can click right up there to head over to my Patreon page. Now, for this song, I'm going to be using the G chord family, but I'm playing with my capo on the 2nd fret, so that puts me in the key of A. So I'm going to be using the G chord. We also have a D over F sharp. If you prefer, you can use a traditional D major, but I like the D over F sharp within the G chord family because it just makes transitioning a lot easier. We also have an A minor, or in my case, an A minor 7. And I'm playing it like this without my 3rd finger down, which makes it an A minor 7, but I'm also keeping my pinky down on the 3rd fret of the high E string. And the only reason for that, again, is to make the transitions easier going to and from that A minor, because it's one less finger I have to think about. It just stays there the whole time for the whole song, really. So I don't have to think about putting it back when I'm trying to transition out of the A minor. Okay, if you want, you can play the A minor 7 without the pinky, and it's totally fine. It would work that way as well. So after the A minor, we also have a C, or in my case, I'm going to be playing a C add 9. Okay, if you want, you could play a C major there, and that would work also. And then, yeah, I think that's all for the chords. We just have those 4 chords, G, D, A minor, and C, for the whole song. Okay, and it goes in that progression, G, D, A minor, C, over and over again for the whole song. Okay, so the progression stays the same from the verses to the chorus to the bridge. The whole song is just that progression, which makes it nice and easy to memorize. Okay, so it's one less thing you have to think about when you're trying to play the song. Okay, let's see. Whenever we get to, let's see, I'm trying to see if there's any parts in here that might be a little confusing. There's one thing that I want to mention, like for instance, when we start this song, it's always a good idea to play that root note of the chord for at least 1 or 2 measures before you start singing, so that you can set the tempo and you can set the key of the song to make sure when you come in to sing, you're in the right key. Okay. So usually, you know, I'll just play that G for about 2 measures before I start singing, or just play that whole, because we're playing that progression on repeat for the whole song, we could just do one progression through that G, D, A minor, C, and then we can start singing. Okay, that's up to you. But something to keep in mind is we're not going to start the first word of the chord until after we start that G, okay? And what I mean is, when you look at the chord chart, we have a G, and then like a beat later, we start singing. And this is important to realize, because you want to make sure you're starting to sing on at the right spot, or else it's going to throw off your rhythm, okay? So for that first measure, we're not going to do here, we're not going to start singing here on beat 1. So we have here is, okay, it's actually on beat 3 that we come in with the word here. 1, 2. Here is where I lay it down. And that's an important thing to realize, and that's going to happen, you know, for each part of this song, at least in the verses. Here is where I lay it down to every burden, every 1, 2. This is my surrender. 1, 2. This is my surrender. Okay, so when we make a chord transition, right when we land that transition, we have beat 1, 2, and then we come in with the words. And that can help, if you know that mentally, it can help you to make sure that you stay on track with your melody and your rhythm to keep them lined up correctly. Okay, now when we get to the chorus, that kind of changes. We actually start singing before we get to that first chord of the chorus. Okay, so that the verse ends on a C. Okay, and then we start singing the chorus before we go to the G. Okay. Okay, so we have I will make, and then on the word room, we hit beat 1 on the G. Okay. So that's something just to keep in mind. If ever you are stumbling over your words, you want to try to pay attention to that when the words are coming in. At what chord transition do the words come in, and that can help you to find your place. Okay. Yeah, and that's pretty much. Oh, I forgot to mention for the strumming, we're going to be using the driving pattern. Again, that's just very basic 4-beat strum pattern. We have 4 down strums with an up strum at the end, and we're putting emphasis on beat 1 and 3. So that's every other beat we're strumming harder. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, very basic pattern, and that's what we're going to do for this whole song. Okay, so a nice simple song to play, and I hope you're able to pick it up. If you do have any questions, feel free to post any questions in the comment section of this Patreon post, and yep, I will see you guys in the next lesson. Okay, take care.